Hi, my name is Alex, and today I will be talking about Brexit, Britain, Europe, and so on. For those who doesn't know me, my name is Alex. I live in South Wales for 10 years now. My wife is Welsh, and I have two children, boy and a girl. So, the reason why I've decided, by the way, sorry about the look if something, it's Saturday morning. I just did my exercises and I've been thinking about this video since June, but didn't find really the reason to do it. But in the end, today I decided that I will do this video. And so, why did I decided to do this video? What is the motivation? Well, in June, I received an email from BBC. Let me just read it to you. Right. Dear Alex, I'm planning to film a BBC News report on changing attitudes to immigration in the UK and wondered if you might be able to help. There is good evidence that Britain has become significantly more positive about immigration in the last few years, a consequence, I believe, of the wave of eight arrivals having integrated into our society. Your name popped up because you featured in an article in the Welsh press, and your story seems perfectly blah 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 blah. Uh, Basically, become positive, accept members, and does this ring true for you? And Mark Easton, BBC Home Editor. So after this email, I received another email saying that they've decided not to do this show the way they wanted it to do. But since June, I was thinking about are people really interested, like in opinion of people like me? Like I'm not a politician. I'm not a celebrity. Like I'm just a Latvian guy in South Wales. And I had a look at a few articles and Googled a couple of things. And what I found is that there are a lot of, I don't know how to say it. It's maybe the stories are true about European people in Britain and the experiences are very bad. Like I remember I read an article about a woman from Europe, and she's in northern England. And after the referendum, her life became horrible. Her neighbors became nasty. Her workplace became nasty. I don't know. It's very sad. If that's true, then the whole situation is not nice at all. And reading a lot of articles, I just saw that there is really not a lot of good. There's nothing positive at all. From everything I've read, I didn't read anything that represents me. Nothing. Only bad stuff, bad stuff. Brexiteers are horrible. Remainers are horrible. It is like the newspapers and the media, they just like trying to put two groups together, clash them, and that's all. There's really nothing else. There is no middle ground. It's all about conflict. I don't know, maybe it's good for them, it's sales, it's scandal, it's, well, what the media does, they're very good at that. So that's the two reasons basically. I received that email from BBC, and then I had a look at other news and stories, and I just felt that I have to tell you my own story. It's maybe not what usually it is in the media, but it's a real story, and you might find it interesting. Uh, I came home and I quickly made a few notes about what I want to talk, and let's start with the questions that my British friends asked me. When I say British friends, it's a lot of people. The thing is, for 10 years, I'm running a window cleaning business in South Wales. From Newport to Cardiff to Chepstow, up the valleys, Merthyr, everywhere. And with window cleaning, it's always on regular basis. So I see a lot of different people every month. Some families I know for 10 years, and somebody passed away, children were born, weddings, and that's the most difficult thing for me, because when you open the newspaper, it's simple. These people are for Brexit. These people are for Europe. But with my friends and customers, it's not like that at all. I have Brexiteers and I have Remainers. Everybody is absolutely fine. Everybody is absolutely calm, besides one person, but I will tell you later about it. So hundreds and hundreds of people are fine, besides one. Yeah. The only thing they want is that Britain to be a successful country. That's all. Somebody thinks that Brexit will make Britain better. Somebody thinks that Europe will make it better. But me, as a Latvian person, as an immigrant, nothing changed after referendum. Nothing at all. I go to the same shops, and I don't know for who will listen to this, but I spend most time in Newport, South Wales. Living in Britain 10 years, I found out that for some reason the majority of people think that Newport is a very risky place. I don't know why. Like in Newport, there are two areas that people, for some reasons, are afraid. It's Pill and Maze Glass, right? I have no problems there at all. And since the referendum, I continue to go everywhere I usually go. The pubs, the high street, the shops, everything exactly the same. And I haven't felt any change. Nobody looks at me in a different way. When they hear my accent, everything is fine. And that's another thing. I've been in Britain for 10 years. I could have put a lot of effort into changing my accent so I will sound like I don't know, a Welshman or Englishman, but there is actually no need at all. I've never had, besides a few times, a problem because of my accent. And again, I encounter with people every day, dozens of people every day, like thousands of people every year. And when I have problems a few times, I don't know, do you really want to make a point of that? Just because there are some idiots? I don't see the point of that. And as well, maybe you can say that I am quite a positive person, and obviously sometimes, you go to the pub, there are people who are a bit tipsy, they hear, oh, you're Polish, etc. And I will say, no, I'm Latvian, but they will still continue, no, you're Polish, etc. And then they will tell me about my English. But the funny thing is that uh, a lot of Welsh people, the way they speak, English people don't understand them, especially if you go up the valleys. And when they start to tell me about my accent, etc., I tell them, you know what? Your English is not perfect as well. It's like a banter. You have fun, you have a chat. They try to wind me up, I wind them up, and it's all easy. I've never came to a situation where I had to, I don't know, defend myself because I'm Latvian. Like, to have like a fight. Obviously, there were problems, but it has nothing to do with I'm Latvian. It's usual stuff. People are too drunk, people lost their control, but banter, you wind up each other, it's all fun. But I've never had a situation that you read in the newspapers at all. I don't know, maybe it's Newport. Maybe Newport is a great place. Friendly people, everything is good. Maybe it's in the big cities like London, Birmingham, where there are a lot of people. I know, too much stress, and I don't know, people become horrible to each other. So basically, the question uh, people ask me, what has changed? Sorry, what has changed for you since the referendum? I can say nothing. I came here in 2008, and it's exactly the same life for me. Customers are brilliant, British customers. Friends are brilliant. Everything is good. Now, about when I say British customers, what do you have in mind? For me, when I came to Britain, I didn't know how diverse it is. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to go here, because it's a lot of cultures, a lot of religions, everything. But I didn't know how vast and amazing it is. Like, you will think about London, but no, even in Newport, in a small Welsh town, well, it's a city, but it's a town, right? So in a small Welsh town, you have everyone from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America. Like, I have customers, right, who came here, or like their grandparents came here and they were already born here, from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, Japan, Nigeria, Somalia, South Africa, Tanzania, Egypt. From Latin America, I have Ecuador, I think Bolivia, definitely Brazil. I have everyone. And a lot of these people are already citizens. I'm not a citizen, by the way, I'm still Latvian citizen. A lot of these people are British citizens, right? And some of them voted Brexit. I won't go into that a lot, because if I will talk too much, people who know me might guess which my customers and friends like voted and how. So it's not just the British, like British people voted for Brexit. There are a lot of people from different nations who did. And that's what I mean. When you open the newspapers, it's like black and white. But in my situation, it's not. I talk with everyone, and a lot of people who came from different nations voted Brexit or voted Remain. And the main goal, what people want, is the Britain to be better. Obviously, there are people who probably voted Brexit or whatever reasons because I don't know, they're racist, they're horrible. I don't know. It's obvious because you find them in the news. So there are people like that. But in my case, in my life, it's absolutely different. Now, I've told you about one person, and it's true. I did lose one customer after referendum. It's hilarious because she didn't tell me that, right? But cleaning windows for many years, talking, I knew her mind. But actually, I didn't think that she will cancel me after referendum, but she did. It's quite funny because, like, don't people have anything else better to do than that? But again, from hundreds of people, hundreds, just one person, it's really not that bad. It will be exactly the same where I'm from. Where I'm from, it's a poor country, but people are great. You go there, you can enjoy your life, and obviously you're gonna meet some idiots, but you have them everywhere. Then people say to me, then, oh, it's not true, you definitely experienced more stuff, you definitely experienced. Like, people need negative news all the time. Well, I have one for you. But it didn't happen to me in Newport or South Wales. It happened to me in Heathrow Airport, which was a bit puzzling because airports, they're supposed to be, people who work there, they're supposed to be like, I don't know, multicultural. They're supposed to know different cultures and be more flexible. But what happened in Heathrow Airport? It's a totally different story. It's another video if you want. But basically, long story short, I had a problem. Heathrow Airport didn't want to resolve it. The border agency didn't want to resolve it. And this is why I love Britain. It will never happen in Latvia. So they don't want to resolve anything. I had to contact my MP. 2 weeks, job done. Apology letter and everything else. The question is why they couldn't send it straight away. It was obvious. I'm not the person who gonna try and squeeze something like make an elephant out of nothing. Like it was obvious what happened at Heathrow Airport. It wasn't nice. But for some reason I had to contact my MP to get involved and everything was resolved. But this is the thing I love Britain. And wait a second, let me check. Referendum is done. My problems are done. Uh, and now the question, why do people want to live in Britain? Like on the news we just heard about this horrible story about 39 people came in the lorry. Ooh. Can't even imagine what they, I don't know, like what type of life you need to have to go to such extent to leave your country. So Latvia is not like that, obviously. It's. I will tell you the reasons why I left. So about Britain, why do I love Britain? Why do people want to come here? And obviously, when we say Britain, it's not just Britain. It's developed countries. It's Britain, it's Germany, France, Sweden. I don't know. You know the countries. So the reason is that the system here works. People don't come here because I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna have crazy wage. No, it's because the system works here. I had to write one letter to MP. Just one letter. It's amazing. And the problem was resolved. If this would have happened in Latvia, yeah, I would have write thousands of letters to the airport, nothing. I would have wrote thousands of letters to MP, nothing. That's it. So nothing would have been resolved. So a bit about Latvia, so you will understand me. Latvia is a fine place. The main problem is that the system doesn't work. If you're a professional, like you're good at something, like you have, like I don't know, like very good engineer, I don't know, you might go to Latvia and you might find a decent job with a good wage and live there, right? The reason I left is because I always want to work for myself. I finished Latvian business college and I wanted to start my own small business. And in Latvia, that's quite difficult. In Latvia, you have to have some type of uh, good experience, good knowledge of some product to start your own business. You cannot just like in Britain. I came, oh right, how much money I have? I have 50 quid on me. That's fine. I started to work in a warehouse. Started to work for a cleaning company. A few months passed by. I started to do window cleaning. In Latvia, it's impossible. You won't be able to do that because you only will be able to make good money from a job that requires a lot of knowledge. All the labor work in Latvia, it's pennies. Maybe enough to buy food, clothes. You know, like the prices are different than in Britain. But the main reason is the system and the opportunity. A lot of my friends, they're still in Latvia and they're fine. You know, they're satisfied with what they have and they're fine. I'll give you one example of one of my friends. So he was very smart in school. He finished uni, and he has a very good job now. He something in construction. I forgot. He designs things. I think like he knows all the chemicals for building material. Smart guy. So I saw him a year ago, and I had a chat, and I was surprised. He's planning if something to go to Germany. You might think he has a house, and for Latvia that's very rare. People live in flats. He has a house, he has two cars. Why will he go to Germany? Everything is fine. But that's the problem with Latvia. The system doesn't work. He said, I don't live in Latvia, so I don't know. He said that in 2020 or 2022, I can't remember, there will be some new contracts, arrangements with European Union, and because of that, Latvian credits or economy might kind of suffer a bit, and because of that, everything might suffer all together. So he is planning, in case it will be bad, to move to Germany. And he already found a few places that will take him. He's a smart guy. For him, it will be, even in America, I think he can find work. But that's the thing with Latvia. In Britain, you have mess for the last 3 years with this referendum and Brexit and MPs and politicians. Total mess. And the government is fine. If this would have happened in Latvia, it would have collapsed. The government, seriously, it would have collapsed. And that's how we live in Latvia. We cannot, like, even people with good lifestyle, they cannot relax because what will happen tomorrow? What will happen tomorrow? Tomorrow, another crisis, we have to move. In Britain, I know for a fact that I can live peacefully for another month. I don't know what's after another month, but I know definitely for the next 30 days, I can relax, do my job, play with children, everything is fine. In Latvia, you're never certain about tomorrow. Never. And that's why a lot of people move, including me. It's not that because Latvia is bad. You have police, you have healthcare, you can find jobs, you have schools, like all good. But still, it's not what people need. People need, I think, my opinion, people need opportunities and stability. Because only when it's stable, you can develop yourself and you can use opportunities around you. So, about the people in the lorry, because I think I wrote it here. Yeah, a lot of my British customers and friends are surprised. Why do people rush here like that? Why? Why? Well, you've heard about Latvia. Let me tell you now about Russia. Russia, when you hear about Russia, it's a big, powerful country. Some people that I know, I've been to Moscow, I've been to St. Petersburg, I've been to Nizhny Novgorod, I've been to Vladimir, Pskov, Tver. I've been to many places in Russia. And some of my British friends been to Moscow and St. Petersburg, and they love it. It's beautiful. But with Russia, you only have a few cities that live well. That's all. Think about it. Can you imagine if in Britain you will be able to work and live peacefully only in London, Birmingham, and Bristol? Everything else is hell. You may think I'm exaggerating. Hell? Yes. Extremely difficult life where you always have to pay attention what's happening and never cross wrong people. As an example, I will tell you, I will give you a few examples so you will understand what is Russia, and eventually you will understand why a lot of people are going to Europe or Britain in lorries. So, can you imagine, is it possible that in Britain you will open newspaper and you will read a story? An orphan was left, I know when the deadline, 18, so an orphan, uh, 18 on his own, that's it. No social care, nothing. He tries to find life, tries to establish something, cannot find anything. He's 20. He goes to the shop because he's hungry. He steals food, and they've put him to prison for 2 years. Can you imagine that in Britain? That an orphan was left without any regulations at all, without any help, without anything, and for stealing food because hungry, put to prison for 2 years. That's Russia. Do you understand what it's like there? If they treat orphans like that, I mean the government, not the people. The people in Russia are great. The government in Latvia, it's very unstable. The Russian government, I will call it evil. They have no humanity at all. They only think about themselves, and whatever happens beneath them, they don't care. So this poor orphan was put into prison for 2 years just being because he's hungry. It's unbelievable. And then they have a politician. I think it was in Samara. I need to check that. It's again another long story. Who stole government money, billions, seriously billions. And while he was like persecuted and the work was going on, he left abroad to Switzerland. Case closed. Can you imagine Boris Johnson stealing billions, and while I don't know there is an investigation, he goes to Jamaica and says to everybody, "That's it, I'm here. Nobody will take me." And the Russian government won't do anything because they're all friends. They just say, "Oh, he left. What can we do? There is nothing we can do. We're very sorry." But this politician is not alone. There are hundreds every year. And that's why Russia, as a rich country, it's poor because the corruption is so big and so vast, you cannot even comprehend. It's unbelievable, the figures, the numbers. It's insane. And now the last example. I think it happened in Kaliningrad recently. And again, it's police. Russian police is, I don't know, they behave with people as if it's medieval ages. Horrible. No human aspect at all. Unbelievable. So this guy was in the cell and they tried him to sign the documents that he agrees with the verdict, etc. He didn't agree and they were torturing him with boiling water. Think about it. Think about it. Can it be possible in Britain? Even in Latvia, it's not possible. They were torturing him with boiling water, 95% of his skin burned. And then they came up with a story that while he was in custody, he broke a radiator. The radiator was heating, and all the water ran on top of him. He scalded himself. The end. Case closed. What do you mean, case closed, you might ask? Case closed, that's it. They won't do anything. The government won't do anything. They've tortured a guy with boiling water, case closed. Now, that's Russia, yeah? Not that bad, maybe. But for people in Central Asia, Russia is paradise. Think about it. People from Central Asia run into Russia for work and life. Think about it. So how bad is it in Central Asia if people go to Russia when you heard what I just said? So think about it. So you know now there are countries that I don't know how people live there, and that's why people will rather die in a lorry and go to Britain than I don't know than to stay where they are. So yeah, it's all horrible, and yeah, so that's the reason why people go to Britain, and that's why you have people trying to get in and out from every corner. So how to fix it, I don't know, because it's not just. It's difficult question. I don't know, because I think even if Britain will leave Europe, you will have a lot of people trying to get in anyway. So it's for, I don't know, border agency to decide how they're gonna tackle that. So yes, what do you think about British people? This question came a lot after the referendum because people think, for some reason, I've changed my mind about Britain. No. I love Britain, I love Wales, I love Newport. So when we talk about British people, you have to understand, as I said, British people is everyone. Like, one example, I have an Indian family, and their family already like came with grandparents or great grandparents, and the whole family, like the children, the father, everyone has immaculate English, like London style English, like unbelievable. And their behavior, their everything, they're still Indian. You know, they when they have their like wedding, I remember it's all done in their like in India, but they're British. You won't find more British people than that. You know what I mean? It's like, so when I talk about British people, I talk about everyone who is a British citizen, really. And I love British people, they're amazing. As I said, I have customers from everywhere, and not only English and Welsh and Scottish and Irish, I have everyone. I love them all. And besides them, I have people who are British citizens, but originally they are from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, from America, and I love it because one of the things in Latvia or in Russia, countries like that, it, because people cannot really relax, people cannot develop themselves, they cannot really show who they are. But in Britain, people feel free, you know, they feel relaxed. And when you're on the streets, you see different cultures, different religions, and I love it. A lot of British people tell me that this multicultural thing is kind of not going well. I know it's not going well, but you have to understand that the world admires you for doing what you're doing. It's difficult, but if you will succeed, it's amazing. And I think Britain will succeed because the majority of people I have are fine with each other, and Christians and Muslims. I have a few families from Bangladesh. They're Muslims. They feel proud of themselves. They have no problems whatsoever with Britain or anything else. It's to create this society. I think it's difficult, but that's why Britain is Britain. It was leading the industrial revolution. It was leading the science, and I think now when we're all developed with science and stuff, Britain is trying to lead the world with the culture because maybe 200 years it was possible to have like a country like I know Latvia, one country, one language, one nation, small, alone. I think in nowadays it's just impossible. And countries that don't have this integration will eventually suffer a lot. And that's why my applause to British people and the British government for trying to create this new society where everyone, you know, you open the news, you know, besides me, how much crap there is, how much people hate each other. But if you will actually succeed in creating this government, this country where people, it doesn't mean that like each other, but at least respect each other, it will be amazing. So, do I love Britain? Yes. Do I love British people? Yes, I do. Because only I don't know about other countries, but in Britain you can definitely be whatever you want, and everybody is fine with you. Everybody respects you. Besides, obviously, a few people who don't want to change their mind, don't want to be flexible, and I think that's just a process. Another, I don't know, 50 years, and probably people will understand and live in peace more. Um, so yeah, so I think that's what I said. And last question is very difficult for me. I even don't want to go into that. But the last question is: people ask me, "Oh, do I support Brexit or do I support Remain?" It's very difficult because for me, I just want Britain to prosper. I want my children, by the way, are British citizens, they're Welsh. I'm not planning to raise them in like any other culture because I know some families they try to like they're here, but they still try to raise their children as if they're there. In my opinion, that's impossible. You will never know what is Latvia and what is Latvian culture if you didn't live there. Like I've met here Latvian people who lived in Latvia for a few years or didn't live in Latvia at all. Their understanding of the country is none. They read books, they read stuff, but they don't understand at all. They don't understand at all what is Latvia, like at all. And it's difficult for them to explain because you have to live there, you have to sense it, you have to know all the stuff. I think you'll agree with me. I live in Wales for 10 years and I still learn. I still learn what are Welsh people, what's funny, what's not funny, the heritage, the everything. And by the way, I love it. Welsh people are awesome. They're friendly, they're chatty, they're nosy, but I love it. It helps me to have a chat with them. They have amazing history with the mines, with the Industrial Revolution, the power, how strong people were, and working, and basically awesome people. So I don't want my children to live here and at the same time I'm trying to teach them what is Latvia when they have no clue what it is. Because they will be Welsh. They will grow up, they are Welsh, that's it. They probably gonna wind me up for still having my Latvian accent. But I don't mind, because that's what I mean. Britain is a great place. I don't need to change my accent. I don't feel threatened. When I came here 10 years ago, my accent was even worse. But I was walking around, hello, do you need a window cleaner? Do you need this? Absolutely fine, no problems. Besides a few people, there will be always people. So, but it's not just a minority. It's like 1 in 100. I don't know, maybe 1 in 1,000. I don't want to pay attention to them. I don't want some silly people destroying my good mood. I travel. Basically, my life is between Bristol and Cardiff. This area is awesome. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of great customers. Uh, Everywhere where I go, cafes, shops, everything is lovely. So, I'm not avoiding the question. What would you support, Brexit or Remain? I lived in Britain 10 years. In Latvia, I lived for 20 years. Maybe when I will live another 10 years here, it will be 20. So 20 in Britain, 20 in Latvia. Maybe then I will be able to decide. I can't decide now because I look at Europe with Latvian eyes. What do I mean? Can Latvia leave Europe? Latvia cannot leave Europe. Latvia is a small country with difficult economy. We have to be part of Europe to survive. Britain is totally different. Is totally different. Your economy is strong. Your government, even though you're not happy with it, and I will get to that, I love it. I appreciate British people that they're so demanding. I love it. For you, your government is crap. For me, it's much better than what I have in Eastern Europe. So, if to listen to people from Brexit, they have good evidence that they will succeed. If to listen to people from Remain, they have good evidence that they will succeed. It's not so simple. It's not Latvia. With Latvia, shall we live? No, no. We're gonna have problems. It's obvious. Even a 10-year-old will understand that. With Britain, it's very complicated because you're a very strong country. I think you can be on your own. At the same time, you're very integrated with Europe. Can you just cut it? Some people say yes, some people say no. I have no clue. I'm not a politician, I'm not an economist. It's very difficult. And maybe it's good that you are talking about it for such a long time, etc. Right. How do I feel? I can tell you how I feel. I think eventually Britain will leave Europe, right? Because the majority of my friends that I know and customers, they voted to leave, right? So that's the majority of people. So I think eventually Britain will leave. But I'm happy that there is all this talk, etc., and people trying to find like the middle ground, because that will not happen in Latvia, and that definitely will not happen in Russia. Probably Latvia or Russia would have already left Europe before the referendum. And that's why our countries in Eastern Europe suffer. The decisions are fast, the decisions are rough, the decisions are, oh, let's just do it, yeah, let's do it, oh, we have problems. It's like with Russia, you know that. We have Russian Empire, oh, let's build communism. They've built communism. Oh, we don't want communism. Let's scrap it. Democracy. Oh, we don't want democracy. Let's have. They call it now Putinism. It's like a new way of life. It's like Putinism. Let's have Putinism. It's like, what are you doing? You're constantly changing your mind, and that's what I like about Britain. You've made a decision, but you're a bit wary. You're like, ooh, shall we do this or shall we not? Shall we do this or shall we not? I think eventually you will live. That's my personal opinion. If you won't, I'm fine with it. For me, the main thing, I hope that Britain will prosper because I see my future here. I see my children's future here, my grandchildren. So that's my opinion. Another 10 years, eventually I'll become a British citizen. A lot of people ask me, well, why you're still not, you can do everything. I'm not a British citizen because it's very expensive. British people don't know that, but so I've done all the tests, right? All the tests. And the application fee to get the passport is £1,500, right? So you have to pay that to get the passport. But the funny thing is that the application is so difficult, they even make a note that if you fill in an application and there is one mistake, you won't get refunded. It's true, I will give you examples. So you pay £1,500, you do the application, they tell you, oh, there is a mistake. Instead of, I don't know, Latvia, you wrote Latvia. Some silly mistake. That's it. Cancel the application, no money back. I know two people who had it. One from Latvia, one from Romania. So, well, what to do then? You have to have a solicitor. Obviously, the whole system, is created to milk you. So you need £1,500 for passport and about 500 quid for the solicitor. So if a solicitor does everything and there is a mistake, you will get your money back from the solicitor. It's 2 grand. I have other stuff to do at the moment. I need to business to develop. I'm still saving deposit for the house. I have other stuff to do. And I don't feel bad in Britain as a Latvian citizen at all. And that's the reason why I still didn't get the passport, because I feel good here as a Latvian citizen, and I need money at the moment for more important things like a house. Um, so yeah, I think we spoke about everything. If you want me to mention anything else, I don't know, you can comment below, or even if you will disagree, just write your opinions. I like different opinions, and people know me. I'm very friendly, I'm very open, and I respect everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found maybe something interesting, something new, and I only wish all the best to Britain, and I hope all this tension and nastiness that I think is created by the media and by some politicians who don't know how to become more famous, so they create all this collision. Uh, that's one more point, by the way, I want to say. Media is horrible. It winds up people. Then people go to Westminster and Brexiteers and Remainers, they shout at MPs. And then the media writes that these people are horrible. Why? You've created the system where people feel lost. You've created a system where people cannot wait anymore. They're fed up. They're angry. It's because of you. It's because of politicians and the media. You've made people like that, and you then blame them. That's what I don't understand. It's ridiculous. So I just hope that everyone in Britain will eventually sort it out. Everything will be fine. And there we go. Thank you for listening to me. My name was Alex, and all the best from Wales.